The fight that led to a gaming addict allegedly bashing his girlfriend was far from the first bust-up of their toxic relationship, his brother claims. Luke James, Monday, 26, was charged with common assault after his Fortnite live stream allegedly showed him attacking Grace Campbell, 21. The incident escalated from her demanding he end an all-day gaming binge in their home in Oran Park, Western Sydney, on Sunday. Scroll down for video. Ms. Campbell said they only started fighting as Monday's gaming addiction gripped him this year as he played 6 to 8 hours a day to entertain his fans. However, the It Nerd's brother Daniel, Monday, 24, said the couple had been locked in a cycle of conflict for most of their 5-year relationship. They have a toxic relationship with so many domestics it's hard to keep track of them, he told Daily Mail Australia. Their arguments can be brutal, and Luke has moved back to our grandparents' house numerous times afterwards. After a few weeks the dust settles, they patch things up, and he goes back to live with her. They're good for a little bit, and then it happens again. Daniel, Monday, said neither were blameless, and both needed counseling. I'm not siding with Luke or excusing his actions. I don't even really like him, but the real victims are their kids, he said. He's recently been snapping back at her harder, and she knew he was close to breaking point. They both need help, but refuse to get it, and I've been worried it could escalate into something really bad. Daniel, Monday, said his brother refused to break up with Ms. Campbell because he didn't want his children to suffer the same childhood as him. The brother's grandmother earlier told Daily Mail Australia that Monday never knew his father, and his mother died about 20 years ago. Monday was raised by his grandparents, and his brother spent time in the foster care system, Daniel, Monday, said. He's worried that if he leaves her, she will get custody of the kids and he'll be lucky to ever see them. He doesn't want them to have the childhood we did, he said. Daniel, Monday, said, when the couple first got together, when Ms. Campbell was just 16, his brother was an unemployed layabout who played games from morning until late at night. When Grace told him he was pregnant with their first child, he pulled his finger out and went to TAFE and eventually got a job, he said. Gaming has always been an escape from how we grew up for him, and recently he's gotten addicted to it again. Ms. Campbell said as Monday's addiction to the popular game worsened, he increasingly shunned his family to spend more time online with strangers. Some days he would finish work, play Fortnite until he fell asleep in his chair, then get up and do it all again, she told Daily Mail Australia. Share this article. Share 158 shares. Ms. Campbell said it wasn't always like this, describing how the mop-haired It Nerd she had dated since she was just 16 turned into an angry person who would play all night. He got famous and started playing 6 to 8 hours a day for his fans, she said. As he got more addicted, he changed. He became an angry person. He wasn't spending enough time with the kids, and it was a struggle every day to get him to leave the computer for anything. Monday's brother said the argument that landed him in a jail cell was no different to dozens of others, except that it allegedly escalated into violence and was live-streamed around the world. Ms. Campbell appeared to throw a cardboard box and other objects at Monday as she demanded he stop playing, before he got up and confronted her. He then allegedly slapped her in front of their children as Ms. Campbell screamed and then called him a woman basher. "I hope all of you people know that I'm pregnant, and he just bashed me," she said. The couple continued their screaming match and Monday seconds later could be heard telling her to FK off. "Leave me alone for 10 fking minutes." Monday has refused to speak to the media except to tell 7 News the alleged assault was a one-off after his grandfather let a camera crew inside the home. He was filmed lying on a couch in his grandparents' home looking distraught, which his brother said was where he will be until the case is over. Luke is a very shy person despite his streaming and will just lay on that couch all day feeling sorry for himself and not tell his side of the story, even though he should, he said. Monday faced Camden local court on Thursday, where his assault charge and an AVO were adjourned until January 10. Ms. Campbell later that day said their relationship was over and she no longer thinks he is fit to be the father of their 2- and 3-year-old daughters. "After this, I've had enough. I don't want him near me or the children," she told Daily Mail Australia. But then Ms. Campbell said she would consider taking him back if he took anger management classes and showed he could be a good father and partner. "I'll give him another chance for our kids, but only if he makes the effort and shows real improvement," she said. He also needs to address his addiction to the game. Earlier video from Monday's live stream showed him verbally abusing his 3-year-old daughter when she tried to get his attention. The small girl could be heard saying "da-da" twice before Monday responded with "Shut up, CT, don't fking give me that attitude."